everybody, welcome back to day 4 of our Walmart New Product Spotlight. My name is Emma Panuski. I'm a content creator here at Plaid, and all week long we have been showcasing all of our brand new product that we are launching in Walmart in 2022, so this year. This week we have talked about all of our brand new folk art specialty paints in Walmart. We've talked about all of our brand new Waverly chalk paint colors, some really exciting ones. And then yesterday we talked all about our Plaid engraver tool and our Plaid wood burning tool and all of its wonderful accessories. So today we are switching it up a little bit, and we're going to be talking about all of the brand new surfaces that we are going to be launching in Walmart this year. So we are joined in the studio with Tanisha Jones. She is going to be explaining all of our different surfaces that we're launching this year, and then at the end we're going to be doing a little bit of crafting and showing you guys and hopefully inspiring you all with ways to decorate your space with these new surfaces and different ways to use these surfaces. So just so you guys know, I am looking at your comments on our iPad here. So during our live stream, please ask us some questions, comment if you like any of our brand new surfaces. Let us know which ones are your favorite, and I will relay those questions and comments over to Tanisha. So we're going to have a really fun time. Thank you guys for joining us. And again, if you are inspired by any of this product that you see on our live stream today, then you can find it at your local Walmart or walmart.com. So, Tanisha, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready. Thank you so much, Emma, for the lovely introduction and letting people know about our new surfaces. So I'm going to talk a lot about our new surfaces, and I'm also going to do a couple projects with you to hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration and show you a couple ways that you can use these surfaces. So the first surface we're going to talk about is this 7-inch unfinished wood surface. So we've got piles of these things. I'm going to show you a couple of them that we have blank, and also, oops, sorry, let me get that out of the way. We have blank and also crafted. So this one is the Bees and Beehive, which I have crafted here on the table with a raw slice of wood. So this is a really fun project. This was used, we just used paint on this and this unfinished wood surface. So the unfinished wood surfaces have a bit of dimension to them because they are layered. So you can see here that it's a bee on top of the hive. And you're going to see that in all the unfinished surfaces, that it's layered like that. So you get a bit of dimension as well as sort of interest, right? If it was totally flat, it wouldn't be as exciting. And you can really kind of play with the shadow and play with the shapes here. So that's the Bee and Beehive. Next up, I've got a Rainbow and Clouds. So the Rainbow and Clouds is a really cute one. You could do this for an older crowd using just some, beautiful home decor colors, or you could do this with a more childish look for a kid's bedroom. So I've got one here on the table that's been crafted. This is decoupage, which is a crafting term where we use crafting paper to glue using Mod Podge, which is one of our products, to glue onto the shape and create this lovely design. So this is in a shadow box. It's painted and also using that art paper in there. And so you can see this one has a ton of dimension. This one is a really, really cool project. And this would be perfect in a teenager's room or really anywhere where you have more of a funky look.
Tanisha, I love how you have so many different examples of ways to craft with these surfaces up there. You have Mod Podge and Apple Barrel and folk art and some of our specialty paints like our Treasure Gold. So that's really exciting to see how you can use all of the paints that we have at Walmart with these brand new surfaces.
Yeah, we had a ton of fun doing these here in the studio back when we first got all these surfaces to play with. So we had the whole crew doing them, and we came up with so many different ways to work with these surfaces and make a ton of different projects. And hopefully I'm going to show you a couple that inspire you today. So this one, I don't believe I have a sample of this one, but this one is the animal paw, the pet paw. And so you could use this, as you can imagine, in a lot of different ways. You could use it for a little, sort of like this one, which is a key ring holder, but instead of the surface, it's a little cutout, but you could make your own like that, which would be a really cool way to use that. I believe I did one like this that I filled with resin, which was really pretty. And then we've got a crown here. And so the crown you could use in a baby's room. I think that would be really, really cute in a baby's room.
So cute.
And you could do this so many different ways, really depending on what your style and preferences are. You could make this really floral, really glittery, or really subdued. You could really go a lot of different ways with that one. And the last little blank one I'm going to show you here is an anchor. So I can see this in everything from a little boy's room to a man cave, a bathroom, a nautical bathroom. There's just so many ways to use these. I love these blank surfaces. And when I first saw them, I will admit, I was kind of like, well, what are we going to do with these? But once you start adding them and layering them onto projects, it really becomes fun.
They come to life.
They come to life, yeah.
And there's so many great products that are existing at Walmart, some large panels and canvases and metal surfaces and larger wood surfaces that are great for adhering them, like Tanisha is going to show us. You can see there, Tanisha has that little hello with some tongue depressors surrounding it. So there's so many ways to be creative with these surfaces.
Yeah, so speaking of the hello, so this is our 7-inch words, and our 7-inch words are, what they sound like. they're lovely little laser cut words. And again, on their own, they might not seem that exciting, but once you do something like this here on my table, these are, like Emma said, the biggest tongue depressors you have ever seen. I believe these are only for crafting. But
I hope so.
I hope so too. We used the word hello in the center there, and you can see that on your front door, in a kitchen maybe. I think this one is a really fun project. Let's see, do I have any other words
I
out
have
there?
some words too. You guys can see to the left of me, we have believe in love. So this is a really great example. You can take some of those surfaces that we're showing you, and then that can be your 3D element, and then you can add your own stencil or hand lettering to create a phrase, because a lot of these words will show you create, family, believe. There are a lot of general words that are really trendy in home decor right now, so you can create some of those phrases like that. We have, I think that's a layered surface, so like for more words, we have family and this little cross right here, so lots of different possibilities.
So the last 7-inch word I want to show you is create, which I have here on the overhead, which we made a frame with. So this is a really cute, simple frame. We just taped that off, painted the white in there, and then you're seeing the raw wood. And I believe this frame is also from Walmart, just an unfinished wood frame, and all we did was make a little rainbow out of that create and stick it on there, and it looks lovely, and that would be a really fun gift for a friend, maybe for a birthday, something like that.
Definitely. People love receiving photos and frames. It's
do.
like when you buy someone a bouquet of flowers, it's always nice to get them a vase too, so that they don't have to worry about what are they going to put it in. You have the frame and it's homemade, so you have that personalized touch. And the great thing about these layered surfaces and these words is that they're all so lightweight. So Tanisha will show you, but adhering them onto other surfaces is so easy. You can use hot glue or Mod Podge or tacky glue, all things you can also find at Walmart.
Yeah, very, very simple. They're super lightweight, and yes, I will show you gluing those down. You can use any type of glue. So next we're going to talk about bowls and planters. So I have a raw wood planter here and then a painted planter. And these come in, I believe, 3 different shapes. I've got one here in front that's a larger bowl, and I've got these ones on the overhead. These make awesome planters. So it's the perfect time of year. It is spring. Everybody's out in their garden. I would love personally to receive one of these painted with a little plant in it. I adore gardening, and I love a good painted pot. So I think these are wonderful. They're faceted, so you can do really fun things. This one I have in front is different colors on each facet. So it almost ends up looking like what would you call that? Not a geode, but a
Like a gem.
a gem, yeah. And so you can play around with colors, you could play around with metallics. It's a really fun thing to do with faceted shapes.
Totally.
So let's see, after bowls and planters, I've got directional signs. Bear with me for a second, I'm just gonna grab it.
There you go.
There we go. So this is a fun blank canvas. So what this looks like before you paint it is like this. So you do have the string that holds it up, so you don't have to worry about hanging it. It also has a drilled in hole in the back that you can hang it with. And we did a couple of these projects. Again, bear with me while I put that down. So this one, we used one of those 7-inch words. We did a lovely painting here. I feel like this would be an amazing project for something like a wedding. You could hang these up everywhere that shows maybe the bathroom, shows where the bar is, that kind of thing. And of course it would be cute in a home environment as well. So I believe this one might be stained and then painted, which is a fun way to use unfinished wood as well. It really gives it kind of a high-end look.
Definitely.
So, and then we've got what we're calling our painting blanks. And I'm going to show you, this is the example of the unfinished piece, and it does come with these, this wooden hanging element to it. So these are unfinished wood beads. And what we did, now I personally did not do this one because I am not this good at wood burning, but this is a lovely wood burned sign. So what someone in our studio did was that they wood burned it and then they went back through with some watered down paint and used that sort of as a stain inside of the design. So you can see that. That's really, really well done.
It's so pretty. I think our friend Sherry Ragsdale, Sherry, if you're watching, hello. I think she did that one for us. And
Yes.
Yesterday we talked all about our wood burning tool, which you can find at Walmart. There's a couple of different tools that Walmart has to offer there. If you're curious about that, and if you're inspired by that piece that Tanisha just showed us, then make sure to check out our video from yesterday. And just like this video too, I should mention, they're going to live here on Facebook and over on our Plaid Crafts YouTube page. So make sure to check out our wood burning tool video from yesterday so you can know all of the basics and all of the supplies that Walmart has to offer for to get you started with wood burning.
Yeah, and if you are already a seasoned wood burner, these blanks are an amazing wood burning surface, and you can see really, I mean, it's just so well done. It's a great surface to work with. So that is that one. I am going to pull out, oh, you know what? We didn't talk about when we were talking about our planters, we didn't talk about our little garden signs. So these are called plant pokes, and these are also available at Walmart as a new surface. So these come in a nice package of 12, so you have plenty to play with. And here on my table, I've got a few different versions. We have, I'm just going to pull these out actually. We've got one that's wood burned, put that there, and one that is painted. And so you can see the difference, two totally different styles, both really, really lovely. So again, if you have a person in your life who is into gardening, this would be such a fun gift. I would love to get customized garden signs like that. Those are really nice.
And Tanisha, Jennifer said, customize your plant decor when you were talking all about those little
Oh,
bowls
yeah.
and vases.
That's funny. Yep, you can customize them. You can. All right. And last on my list before we get crafting is the plexiglass frame and panel. So these are a really, really fun surface. And you can see here someone in our crafting studio, again, used one of the rainbow and cloud surfaces and glued that on here. And then they painted on the other side of the plexiglass these lovely little clouds. And then they had the idea, again, very lovely, to add a third element to this, which was this lovely yarn hanging down with little unfinished wooden beads. So you can do so much with these surfaces. They're really, really fun.
I love that one. How cute would that be to give somebody for a baby shower or something
Oh
like
my
that?
gosh, adorable. Adorable. All right, so I'm going to start setting up for crafting. Emma, if you want to maybe show a couple more of the surfaces that you have on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. So while Tanisha is gathering her crafting supplies, getting ready to show us some things that you can do with all these surfaces, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some more project ideas that we have down here. So this is another one of those acrylic surfaces that Tanisha was just talking about. Of course, this is what it looks like blank, and then here is one of the possibilities that you can do with it. So you can do some really, really beautiful painterly designs on these surfaces. I think Kirsten did this one. She participated in our Waverly segment earlier this week, so make sure to check that one out. Also available at Walmart. Kirsten did a great job showing all a bunch of tips and tricks that you can do with Waverly chalk paint, and she introduced some brand new Waverly chalk paint colors. So if you are a chalk paint fan, then make sure to check that one out. But as you can see, Kirsten painted some designs on the back to kind of get a base down, and then she added some details on the front to create a really three-dimensional look and to give some interest to this surface.
So I am ready over here.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do the same surface over and over again in 3 totally different ways. So I've got my little birdhouse 7-inch unfinished piece, and I've got my 7-inch letters. And this one I already painted just because the letters can be a little finicky to paint and I don't want to make you wait. And I am using Folk Art Terracotta paint. So this color that I'm going to use on the base of the house is Pueblo. And if you haven't used our terracotta paint, it is so much fun. It has the texture of terracotta with the ease of a paint, so you can turn anything into a terracotta look, that southwestern look, or you know, maybe making something look a little more outdoorsy. It's a really lovely, fun, textured paint.
We have a lot of fun with our terracotta paint in the studio. We do a lot of trash to treasure finds. You can find unique glass pieces at your local thrift store or metal pieces, and then just base coat them in terracotta. It is so simple and so easy, and then you get a really high-end looking stone appearance in your finished piece. It's a really, really fun paint. Of course, available at Walmart or walmart.com. So you guys definitely check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, and a fun thing about using terracotta paint too is that you're changing the texture of what you're using, right? So you mentioned using it on glass, but even using it here on the wood, you know, you're losing your wood grain, but you're gaining a completely different texture. So you're sort of fooling the eye a little bit to, you know, into thinking like, oh, that might be a different material than I thought it was. All right, now I'm going to pick up this cool concrete, which is a cool gray. I'm going to do the roof here. And the blue that I used on the words is called Ocean Cavern, which is a nice name. And you can see that this is going on very easy. You really don't need more than one coat unless you know, are looking to build up that texture, which is also completely acceptable. And what I'm going to do with this is hopefully not smudge it while it's wet. And I'm going to use this raw wood surface. This is sort of like a shallow shadow box. It's a framed wood plank. And I'm just going to put these things like that. I'm going to line them up. And like Emma said, you can really use any kind of glue. I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue. And I'm really just going to dot it on here. You don't need much. And this glue is great, very thick, also available at Walmart.
Totally. And another great thing about these surfaces being so lightweight is that they are great for crafting with little hands. A lot of these surfaces are very inexpensive. So if you want to have a crafting day with some little ones, then make sure to stop by the Walmart crafting aisle and pick up some of these surfaces. And like Tanisha is showing us, you don't even need hot glue to adhere these surfaces. To make a finished piece, you can use tacky glue and Mod Podge. It's really, really simple and easy to do.
Yep. It is, and I love my Walmart craft aisle.
Me too. That's my happy place.
It is. And I love when you get to go into a super Walmart and they have an even bigger crafting section. All right, and just like that, we have one here that is in really neutral colors. And if you can see, you know, sort of, if you were to walk up to it, you would see that texture in there. And then the three-dimensional shape of the home. This would make a lovely piece in a house.
I love that, Tanisha. So pretty.
So that's number one. And while I'm setting up for number two, I'm going to show you another one that someone here in the studio did. And this one stands alone. So this says Lucy and the Smiths. Maybe they have a pet bird. I'm not sure.
So cute.
All right, and this next project I'm going to do is decoupage. And so like I said before, decoupage is the act of putting papers on a surface.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that definition, but I think that's pretty close.
And of course, we are the makers of Mod Podge. We have lots of great Mod Podge products available at Walmart. We have all of our original formulas with some very special additions too. So if you've never decoupaged before and you are a newbie to Mod Podge, then Tanisha is about to show us a really great tutorial to use in conjunction with some of these surfaces. So I'm glad that you're showing how to use it with Mod Podge today, because it's really just a great inspiration to show all the different ways that you can use these surfaces.
Yeah, so you know, again, I'm going to use an unfinished wood. This is sort of like a shadow box in here. I'm going to use it really as is. It is, it looks like we picked it up at Goodwill. I'm going to be honest. I think this was a thrifted item, which is great. So we're showing a little bit of upcycling.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you here one of our favorite ways to decoupage here in the studio is to use napkins. So this is just a normal napkin, 2-ply. And what you do is you get in that corner there and you pull the ply off. Just like that. So you have your printed piece and the second ply, which is usually unprinted, just white. And you can go ahead and put the white to the side. We are looking for the printed piece. Now what I would like to do is, I think, let's see, should we do inside or should we do the house? What do you think, Emma?
Let's do the house.
Okay, so we're going to do the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of Mod Podge, and this is just our Mod Podge mat. Comes in a whole bunch of sizes. This is our teeniest one, just a little 2-ouncer. And you don't need much, so this 2-ounce actually will go quite a long way.
Totally. Tanisha, I love that tip that you shared about removing the ply from the napkin. That is a great tip to know if you are ever using napkins in your Mod Podge projects. You always want to make sure to remove some of those extra plies until you are just left with your patterned ply, just to avoid getting any wrinkles in your design. So that's a great tip.
Yeah, and it is rare to see a 3-ply, but it does happen.
It does happen.
And usually you don't notice until you are already laying it down, and then that ply comes up and you go, oh no. So always check for the 3rd ply. Take it from us. And the nice thing about using napkins is, my goodness, is there a lot of versions and holidays and anything you can imagine, they make a napkin for it.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you said that, Tanisha. You can get some seasonal napkins and grab a couple of the same surface, and then maybe just like some of our layered shapes that we talk about, and decoupage them with maybe a Halloween napkin and a Christmas napkin and a spring napkin, and then you can replace those decorative items in your home all year long. So you can really customize your space with these surfaces.
Yeah, and I've seen that a bit on Pinterest lately of people making those little signs that you put outside your house and just leaving a space there for interchangeable holiday pieces. So that's a really fun and popular idea right now.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Tanisha, I'll show you. This is a great idea to one of those surfaces to use for that. We have this little layered truck here. So you could put this guy on a sign. You could paint some trees behind it, and you know, it kind of looks like you're going to a Christmas tree farm. You can paint it with some fall inspired colors and have some pumpkins in the back of your truck. You can do some spring colors and have some flowers in your truck. So lots of different surfaces to customize your space and to make seasonal projects.
Yeah. So another tip and trick about decoupage is when you're working with napkins, especially, I'm not sure that I would do this with some thicker papers, but when you're working with napkins, you can actually use a lighter, a little bit of fire, to burn your excess napkin away. Once you have it decoupaged and you have these little edges that are poking out, you can burn it, and you can also just use a nail file or a piece of sandpaper. It comes off really easy. And I'm not going to fuss with this too much. I know you guys get the idea. I'm just going to poke a hole in the center there. It's coming out pretty cute. And I'm just going to take the back here, and we can glue that down. And the nice thing is that you really don't need much Mod Podge or anything else that you're using to get a napkin to stick down. It's very, very easy. So there's our little house, and I could fuss with that a little bit more, but
it looks so cute right now the way it is.
And then, of course, again, you can just use tacky glue, wood glue, hot glue. I could have just used my Mod Podge there. I often use Mod Podge as a glue.
It is America's favorite glue and sealer.
And our favorite.
Totally. Definitely our favorite.
And I am liking this Aleene's. It's so nice and thick. You can really kind of blob it on there and move on.
Absolutely.
All right. And that's just going to go on there. And that is number 2.
So cute, Tanisha.
So that one is adorable. This one makes me think of outdoors. So maybe you could use an outdoor Mod Podge on that and seal it.
Yeah.
And you would have a lovely little welcoming sign. All right, and number 3 is going to be quick and easy. I have a octagon, well, I don't know if that's an octagon, a stop sign shaped, whatever that shape is. I have already pre-painted it in a light gray, and then I've again got my little birdhouse shape right there, and I have pre-painted the word home again in more of a rainbow pattern. So that's the reason I went with gray, because we're doing a nice pop of color for the words here.
And is that just a stretched canvas, Tanisha?
It is. So it's a stretched canvas over a wooden base, I believe.
Cool.
And I'm going to do this house in a darker gray. So this is a light gray that's down on the canvas, and I'm just going to do the entire house. We're going to completely wash it in color in this darker gray. which I'm hoping will have a lovely subdued effect with the bright colors.
Yeah, I love that monochromatic look.
Yeah. So this is good if you, maybe you're not, well, I don't know. Maybe this is more edgy than the others. I'm not really sure. I was going to say less edgy, but maybe this one's more edgy.
Okay, so while Tanisha's painting that, I want to show you guys some more of these awesome layered surfaces. So here you see we have this sweet little gnome, like we were talking about. It's great to personalize these for all of the different seasons of the year. This would be a really cute Christmas gnome, spring gnome, Halloween gnome, spooky gnome. And you can see here, we made this sweet little guy with some Waverly chalk paint. We just did some really easy distressing on him, and how adorable is that? And like we said, there is a ton of different Waverly chalk paint colors at your local Walmart and on Walmart.com. If you've never heard of chalk paint, it is a really, really awesome paint that you can use. You don't have to seal your surface. It works great on furniture. It is a multi-surface paint. So make sure to check out our Waverly video from earlier this week. I believe it was Tuesday, to find out more about Waverly chalk paint.
And over here I am almost finished. That only took maybe 30 seconds. And I am going to add on my home there. Just press it down. And that one is done. And I think that one's actually really cute.
Yeah, so cute. I love that.
So as you can see, you know, we did the 3 projects in totally, completely different styles, which I love for gift giving. You know, not everybody has the same style, so knowing what people like and knowing, you know, how to craft in different styles is such a gift. So keep practicing and keep buying all the things you need, you know, to do these. These surfaces are so fun, and like Emma said, they are really affordable. You can buy a whole bunch of these, let your kids craft, do it yourself. You know, you can just really have a lot of fun with these.
It'd be such a cute, like, birthday gift idea for a kid or an adult to buy some of these surfaces, maybe pick up some apple barrel paint or some Waverly paint, make a little gift basket. That is always such a fun thing when you can kind of gift somebody with more of an experience rather than something that they'll just do one time and then be over it. It's kind of, it's a skill, and it's a way to make your space pretty, and of course it's so relaxing. Art is like therapy, so that's a really fun idea.
I love that idea. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. All right, so Tanisha, thank you so much for teaching us those 3 ways to craft with the same surface. That was a really awesome little demo. If you are inspired by any of the products that you saw us use here today, then make sure to go to your local Walmart or go to walmart.com to pick some up for yourself. We are going to be here live again tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern, or sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time again here on Facebook. So make sure to check us out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. Bye.